Hey everyone, so today we're talking about how to take a standard form equation like this and turn it into vertex form. Now, in order to do that, we do this process called completing the square. Now this is a lot of steps that we're going to follow, so follow along, and you can always rewind in the video if you need to see the steps again. So, what we want to do is we want to start off to make sure your equation is in standard form. Remember, standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. And here we have 10x squared, x squared plus 10x plus 24 equals 0. So our first step is to ensure that our equation is equal to 0 and that the coefficient of a is 1. So to ensure that our equation is in standard form, x squared plus 10x plus 24 equals 0, and our value of a, which is before x squared, since we don't see it, we know that value is 1. Then we move on to step number 2. Subtract your coefficient c to the other side. So our coefficient is our c value right here, and we're going to subtract, and we're going to take that to the other side. So subtract 24, and what you do to one side, you do to the other. And now you're left here with x squared plus 10x. Now, for completing a square, I know that we subtracted this, but we want to leave a little blank right here. You can draw the line to leave the blank too. Equals 0 minus 24 is negative 24. And we're also going to put another blank on this side of the equation. Now you're going to see what that is for in just a moment. So our constant is now on the other side. We're going to go on to step number 3. Now step number 3 says add b over 2 to the second power to both sides of the equation. So what we're doing is we're going to take that value of b. So b is the term with x, and that term here is 10. So we're going to find out what b over 2 to the second power is. Well, I know b is 10, so 10 over 2 to the second power, and I know 10 over 2 is 5, or 10 divided by 2 is 5 to the second power, and I know 5 to the second power is 25. So what we're going to do with this, we're going to add this 25 to both sides of the equation. Now on the left side, I'm going to have x squared plus 10x plus 25, and if you simplify the right side, negative 24 plus 25 is positive 1. Now, we're going to go on to step number 4, that there is to factor the expression on the left. I'm going to just show the rest of the steps. Factor the expression on the left. I have x squared plus 10x plus 25. I'm looking for two numbers that when you multiply them together will give you 25, and when you add them together will give you 10. Now, it's usually whatever b over 2 is. So we have x plus 5 times x plus 5 equals 1. Remember, 5 plus 5 is 10, and 5 times 5 is 25. Now here, we have x plus 5 times x plus 5. If you guys remembered, we're going to do step 5 right now, which is write your factors as a squared binomial, x plus h to the second power. If you guys remembered, when we have x plus 5 times x plus 5, another way we can write that is x plus 5 to the second power, and bring down the equals 1. And now the last thing to do is to get it into vertex form is you just have to use inverse operations, and you're going to bring your constant, which is this 1, to the left side of the equation. Well, I know this is positive 1, so I'm going to subtract 1 here and subtract 1 here. Now don't get confused too much about where that 1 goes. Because in vertex form, this is gonna cancel out here. Bring down your x plus 5 to the second power. Minus 1 equals 0. Right here, we have our vertex form. Let me highlight that for you. This here is our vertex form, x plus 5 to the second power minus 1. And if you wanted to write what the vertex was, the vertex is the opposite sign of this term here. So this is negative 5, and the sign of the constant outside, and negative 1. Awesome job, guys.